Pro perspective, we're getting something completely normal. For everyone else, this will be, as you were saying, funky. Probably a lot of...
It's not funky, man. Like, the Drow Ranger is a pure natural thing.
I think I like going back to the Silencer pick. I think that's one of their most successful carry positions. Something we've talked a lot about earlier is how they seem to really not put any value into carries that can flash farm. And they're probably the least farming team of any of the successful teams here.
Okay. I want to put a challenge down for you as well. Purge currently has best shout of the day for any of the draft modes that we've had, which was that he called the Invoker early on Black in that last game. So I want to see if anyone can come up with anything better than that.
I'm going to say I did it off record when I was sitting there with Blitz.
He says this, of course, but really... He's going to claim the same as Purge?
I'm going to claim I did it before Purge. Wow. There's no record of it. Blitz was too busy.
Are you calling this, or...?
I'm not that impressed to begin with.
Okay.
It's like calling a Black Invoker.
It was something we could all see coming.
I think Virtus.Pro might take a Winter Wyvern.
Wow, that's very radical.
Yeah. But that actually had very little love. Spirit Breaker.
One game, one ban, I think?
You know, I'd be fine with the Spirit Breaker, but probably not to the second phase. Like have we seen even a Spirit Breaker picked up in the first two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
Still one. Yep.
But
there's a lot.
Reserve time.
I think Apparition just because it's a support pick.
But yeah, Newbee took it out from them in the first one.
That's definitely a good ban. Virtus.Pro, like they just love it. It works really well with like their rend strategy, even just anything else that they run.
Virtus.Pro's turn to pick.
The dual lanes are back. No.
Oh, it's not a gyro. Okay. Oh, we've seen that as well today.
The gyro is really interesting. Slaughter, I think, is expected from them, but gyro is a hero that they don't pick terribly often. But I think it's more of a deny pick versus Newbee, especially because how it just plays that hero all the time.
But do you think Newbee would have gone for a gyro pick up when they already have a Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, I think so.
In the second pick?
Why not? Tons of AoE, good team fight, scale well into the late game.
Doesn't it lock down their strategy a bit too much already?
Do you think Newbee cares? It's like...
That's a fair point.
It's like if you give Slaughter the hero, like Slaughter a Wind Ranger to a team that uses it really well, do they really care? It's like, oh, great, I have these two heroes.
So, yeah, man, but it is still ballsy, though, isn't it? Still going, we don't care what you come up with.
You can always run Slaughter as a position 4, and we have seen teams do that, but I mean, it's not like it's completely inflexible. We've seen teams even run gyro in the mid, so I would think it's super unlikely that that's going to happen. But
I think the Winter Wyvern pickup would have been much better for Virtus.Pro.
I don't disagree, but I think they're more concentrated on house heroes though, and on top of that, maybe they can run the Silencer.
10 seconds remaining.
As a support, which is a decent counter versus Winter Wyvern.
Haven't seen much. Haven't seen it today.
Virtus.Pro is the Silencer team.
Yeah, but they already have the gyro coupler.
They run as support, dude. Have you seen them play?
I'm not sold on this.
Are you enjoying this, Toby, by the way? Just sit back and
I'm just loving the two of them just bantering it out.
Absolutely, just argue.
Yeah. I understand why you love hosting panels these days.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Ben and I love each other off camera.
If we could just focus on the on-camera stuff.
I think you have that angry love all the time. On and off camera. What? Paul knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, what?
What?
Wait, what? What just happened?
We got a draft guy.
Wow.
Why is Darkseer not touched? I think it worked well for both teams actually.
For Newbee, I could see it, but if you've already got the Slaughter, you're probably just looking towards that off lane already.
Yeah,
like
that's true. But you need to ban it out though if you're Virtus.Pro, unless of course you want to go for the Silencer and you're just like, oh, I don't care if they have team fight because we have the trump card. Silence.
I'm still not sold on your Silencer, man. I understand that
why not?
Like they're a great Silencer team, but what are you going to be doing? Like, wasn't it like no,
you press R.
Okay.
Then.
5 seconds remaining.
Maybe you could cancel off record.
Reserve time.
Both is not going to really achieve much here.
I mean, it's hard to get an early lane advantage though versus the gyrocopter, and even a slaughter I would say is one of the better offlaners in this.
That's
patch.
true, but you're running a Shadow Fiend, so you already got an advantage. All you got to do is make sure you can control your own jungle. The
Please, they can
do
pick
that.
They can pick Qual. Oh wait, they can't pick Qual.
No,
Oh, wait. So we can...
Let's go.
That's cool.
Unless Darkseer is banned out by Virtus.Pro now, it's safe to assume that Newbee should be going for it. What are the alternatives to the Darkseer? Clockworker? Yeah.
Clockwork. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Clockwork, and not against already against
hasn't
these
been
picks, first
effective
of all.
today either.
No.
He's got good control against Slander, at least.
But Newbee's a little bit more old school, and the gyrocopter was seen as a counter, countered by the Clockwork with a blade mail early on, especially since most of them opted for an SNY build as opposed to a BKB rush. So it's, I'm not saying that it's great, but I'm saying it's something that they have their eyes on.
Okay, here we go then.
Virtus.Pro's
No,
turn to
no Ember, no Jogger. They might be also worried about VP's, like Newbee's ability just to split push or over push. I think the Ember was also that other hero that just kept them out of the base.
I think they're also just scared of Hal.
Yeah, clearly a lot of respect for How, especially that Juggernaut performance that he pulled off against Fnatic in Game 1.
Dude, he was so far. We saw his items at 18 minutes. It was like Phase, Blink, Battle Fury, and Yasha. That is insane amounts of farm on the Juggernaut, who's not known for his flash farming.
Oh, Mad Cow's arriving.
Newbee's turn to
And they've got such great initiation, such strength as well, between the Slaughter as well as the Spirit Breaker. That's a lot of damage that can just be soaked up. Rocket Barrage is going to be having little effect, so that SF needs to get a lot of space to get razors off as well as have the damage output required, aka get farm.
Man, Lion pickup.
They are so old school. Lion is a hero that is somewhat weak in lanes. I think they might actually be looking to pressure their safe lane right
It's
now.
pretty good against Spirit Breaker, canceling the Charge of Darkness, and then more so when Slaughter goes in with Sprint, he's a pretty fast counter to, like, you can hex him and then Finger of Death, obviously dealing the extra
If
damage.
you get to that point in the game, though, sometimes you just get like aggroed with like Slaughter Undying, and then Lion's just useless because he can't deal with any of those two beefy guys. He's also very poor versus the Tombstone, so
I think that at this point they're feeling pretty confident that there won't be an aggressive tri-lane coming out from
it doesn't
Virtus.Pro.
even need to be aggressive. Try it could just be aggressive duo.
Yeah, that'll be enough, and the Spirit Breaker can already tilt the mid lane, charging in on the SF. We don't know who's going to be in that mid lane for VP just yet, but the Lion and the Wyvern, you think about their rotation potential in comparison to someone like a Spirit Breaker and a yet unknown support hero from Virtus.Pro.
They need a little hero though, so maybe like Rubik or Visage. I would say they like the Visage in synergy with the Slardar for Lina, so mid G Lina. Okay, this is very aggressive. Yeah, if you don't have co-op, then Lina is, I guess, second best.
Well, so you get to be right. Newbee gets to be the old-fashioned Clockwork, and Lena's already got great synergy with the Spirit Breaker. You're gonna find kills there in the mid lane all the time up against the SF. If he doesn't have help, that's still my biggest question on this Newbee lineup. Can the Lion and the Wyvern actually help the SF enough for him to stand even on the lane, or does it all come down to stacks?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to offer that much help. Lion like needs his pull. Bristleback ban. Okay, so Rubik it's kind of the go-to if you pick up the Clockwork. Rubik plus Gyro is one of the best lanes versus Clockwork. Aside from that, I'm only really seeing Visage. Any other options that we see for Lil?
I mean, he could just play a Crystal Maiden and really help out the entire team.
Oh my goodness!
Hello.
And that is so good up against Newbee's lineup as well.
So this actually pushes Slaughter into that 4th position you're talking about.
Wow.
Unless God wants to try and play it in the mid lane up against the SF, which I doubt.
You said this earlier today, exactly this scenario, Ben, how teams would forget about it, because, like we forget about it.
I forgot about it.
Teams will forget about it, and now Sneaky Broodmother.
What's very well disguised draft.
What's Wyvern and Lyman
I was
doing?
wondering why.
10 seconds remaining.
There's no way they would pick Bristle, and then the Brood Mother pick comes out.
5 seconds.
Well, you said we would get funky. And we got a little bit funky.
I was like, this is such a weird band. I was like, why would just...
You're kicking yourself now for not calling the Brood, aren't you?
Well, for not realizing the significance of the Bristle band. Yeah.
Right.
Do you actually try and dodge as well here, Newbee? Like, did Newbee try and force the Clockwork up to the top?
No. No.
Because
You'll get
VP
destroyed.
may do that themselves. Like they might push the Broodmother down to the safe lane.
Yeah, but then your SF just gets boned. So you need a good laner versus the Broodmother. What are we talking about? There's not that many. They only have 30 seconds.
Unless you want to try and get aggressive and pick up something like a Luna and just go at the Broodmother. That's like
Luna?
But that's it's death to do so.
is death.
That's the only way to activate the aggro lane. But
It's a good safe laner. They're not going to pick LC. They could be Sand King, I guess. Axe. Those are all like. You called
Okay, it's a Luna.
That is so bold.
And I guess you could say it's old school versus new school as we head into game one of Newbee versus Virtus.Pro. Let's join our commentary team for our final game of the day with the prediction king himself alongside LD.
Welcome back to the desk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Purge. Kevin, I was ready to flame the crap out of the disc, but they got salvaged by the Luna call at the last second.
They said Luna? I didn't even hear them.
It was one of 50 things they threw. Also,
Yeah,
I think it's a terrible Luna game. But
I'm just glad that Paul keeps shouting out to me. I get one random lucky hip shoot guess, and all of a sudden I'm the draft god.
you're the king of predictions.
Yeah, apparently. I got it, man. I'm the best. Interesting picks, definitely. These two teams, they did play earlier today, so it was a 2-0 for VP. The reason that the A was banned in the first round is because that was probably the most contested pick, actually, in the first game, or in the first set that they played. So a bit interesting to see the meta develop between these two teams, and we'll see who can take the win.
Yeah, big match here, obviously, is a best of 3 as we hop into game number 1. Losing team. All that hard, scrappy work earlier, it won't matter at all. They'll be down to the lower bracket and potentially getting knocked out of the tournament in the bottom 4 spots. Still get a little bit of prize money, but that is not a comfortable feeling going into the main event, Kevin.
Especially with how VP did, they got that one. Did they? Yeah, they played against EG, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they did get that one game, so.
Oh no, that was in VP. That was yeah, you're right. In the winter bracket finals, correct.
Yeah.
And they got the one game.
They were looking good during game 2. They lost it. It looked like a little bit of an outdraft. In game 3, they got really stomped. But
it seems like EG just they just kind of level up as they play a BO3. Like game 1, maybe they get stomped, but then game 2 and 3, like they kind of adjust the draft. They make the necessary tweaks and they just figure out their opponents.
And they really match up well against VP because VP does such interesting. I mean, this game looks completely standard pick wise for the meta, but a lot of their games earlier today, they were picking out weird heroes, doing weird strats, and EG just completely deciphered and beat them in that, and it made the last 2 games look really one-sided. So looks like they may be regulating themselves a little bit more in their picks.
So the analysts touched on it, didn't have a ton of time to talk about it. The Brood 5th pick. This has been an auto-win pick for many teams. Vega probably comes to mind most of all at ESL 1 New York right now. You were watching and casting a lot of their games. It doesn't really feel like Newbee have a whole lot of tools to deal with a Broodmother. Like, how do you think that they handle this pick?
Well, Luna versus Brood 1v1 is not the way. I mean, I guess Luna does have a big base damage advantage there, so she can beat him out in the first couple last hits, but when the Luna gets down here, he's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, actually, this is a Radiant Sentry Ward. They're about to lose this observer, so...
Yeah, they're about to get dewarded.
It's looking pretty good for DK Phobos in this 1v1. Looks
Easy
like
50 gold.
Line shifting over. This is not really a hero that's that amazing at zoning a Broodmother, so he should be able to do a good job here in this lane.
They're actually terrible against the spider lanes once they get some levels on Phobos here.
Yeah, their only really salvation is Winter Wyvern once he gets some Splinter Blast levels. And until then, and that's even a little delayed, it's not like he's going to kill the spiders, he's just going to slow them down and kind of protect somebody.
And later in the game, you generally, if you don't crush a Brood in lane or have good heroes to shut him down, you want to see like that Spirit Breaker, Bat Rider. I mean, used to be Storm before he kind of fell out of popularity and got nerfed. Like someone that can hunt the Brood and really punish it for going off on its own and being aggressive, but all they have is Clockwork. You're hooking to spider lanes.
Pretty good at it, but it still comes down to the hook. They did kill a Sentry Ward here. No stun on DK Phobos. He's got about 3 minutes to play safe, and after that point, he's fine, because at that point, he's going to be level 3, maybe level 4, and that's when the spider spam really comes out. So I think he's completely fine with this lane setup here.
We're going to see a charge on the mid lane now. Moo in a lot of danger. FNG going deep, and that should be the first blood, is the first blood. Very well executed.
He even need FNG to get that kill? He landed the stun before it even landed there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just to secure it, but not the easiest matchup, of course. The Shadow Fiend versus Lina. Also, slightly curious the Newbee pick it. First overall pick Dire Side. Generally, when we see that, it's more Radiant.
Yeah.
they have a lot of confidence in the hero. We saw last series they banned it when they were Dire versus Fnatic.
Yeah.
So they clearly respect Shadow Fiend and value him very highly.
Yeah, well, I've seen very few SFs today, actually. There was the
one
there was-
EG one that won.
Yeah, that one was pretty one-sided SF game, but every other game that I've casted today, there was pretty much always first-round Shadow Fiend ban. Very good at lane, very good at flash farming, and very good at transitioning into the late game.
All right, so the one last lane we have not talked about really at all is this off lane here. NewBee running a kind of forgotten off laner. The Clockwork used to be like the go-to off laner for a couple months back. Now we see him every once in a while, but early on, pretty nice start here for Tule. Already level 3.
And it's a 4-position Slardar, by the way. Lil playing the Slar this game. Oh, he dropped the triple sentry. Oh, that's really unfortunate for him. He just needed to eat the tree. He's going to do it now, and then he's going to realize, man, I wasted an extra sentry.
The sad part is it's about to expire.
Yeah.
It's like the least value possible sentries.
He has to de-ward, though.
Charge on mid again. Oh, gets canceled.
If you're playing a 4-position Slar, you need to get some levels. You need to get that experience. You need to transition with it. So hopefully for him, he can start power leveling a bit. Oh, a little bit of a cog here on Gyro. He doesn't care too much, though.
Yeah, there are some creeps there, or else maybe Illidan does go for the Rocket Barrage. But early on, in terms of last hits, pretty even so far. Slight advantage going the way of VP. But we are seeing FNG gearing up for this pressure. Where does he want to go? There's a cog available, so a bit tough to charge that bottom lane maybe. But seems like mid is the objective. The courier's not upgraded yet. Moo could be in some trouble here. Charge comes through. Take that right in the back, and then a stun, a slave, and done. Just... we just don't normally see Shadow Fiend on his own like this, Kevin.
They're making him look bad right now. It's like, why do you pick Shadow Fiend? With the SB and the Lina combo here, especially with the early advantage that Lina has, they're really good. And pressure on the top lane. Brood's spiders are chasing Chistbug. He's only got a Hex, and there's too many spiders.
Run! He scrambles, he gives up, he turns back around. He's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but
he's got the
the
stun.
dust is here. Chistbug's still going to go down. They do manage to get the Brood, though. Only cost them a support and a dust, so not the worst result in the end for NewBee, but you know, it's like you said, the Shadow Fiend pick is looking bad. I feel like that's largely the Broodmother pick. It's what does the Wyvern do? Does he help protect mid?
Yeah.
And then they get run over top, or does he go top and then it's a tough lane mid?
Well, there's very little he can do to slow down a Brood in the early game, so I think it was fair of him to do this rotation of the top lane. Lil with an Invis rune, actually, he's going to pick up level 3. It's a 1.9 second stun, guaranteed kill on the Slaughter, and I don't think... Here's the sprint.
Oh my god, is this actually gonna work? It looks like it is. G gets off the crush. Laguna secures the kill. The casual drive by
Dude.
bootsless level 3 support Slardar.
That
Now I've
Shadow
seen
Fiend
everything.
is 4. And that was a Laguna Blade. That's a 2-level disparity here. Tule in trouble. Gets stunned. Nothing.
The worst part is he's got 1 stack, it looks like.
Yeah. it's-
Normally at this point, you'd see like a Radiant Shadow Fiend is like 2 triple stacks, I would say. If a support's free to just focus on that.
And the amount that Lina is ahead right now is pretty incredible. Charge coming bottom. Just going to pressure a bit.
FNG wants this game to be over at 10 minutes. I mean, he's just like, I'm going to kill mid, I'm going to come kill bottom. Everybody get the hell away.
It's pressuring everywhere. That's the thing. They want to put them on their toes, basically. Chistbug wants to say, like, man, do I have to constantly carry TP and watch the map instead of focusing on killing Brood and all these other things? And even if FNG's not getting that many levels out of it, he's got what he needs to be valuable right now. And it's putting NewBee on the back foot. And that's one of the reasons that VP ended up 2-0ing them this morning.
Well, Luna has to walk back to base at this point, Kevin. Just...
Oh, he might be able to get a kill mid. He's got 4 seconds to a Laguna.
Moo just so desperate to get every little bit of experience, needs to get those souls up, but has to be ever so careful.
He can see him with the Observer just barely.
Goes for the slave
it
and
is.
dead. And just looks like he's
Oh
even there to
my
help.
God.
He's camping mid to save his carry, and it just doesn't matter. This is quickly getting out of hand. Now Phobos cutting the wave top lane, and they're making their move on mid again. There's a good stun from Chizbug, interrupts the charge, but it doesn't matter. VP.
This could be FNG dying, maybe. Lucent Beam comes.
Yeah, it's a pretty big rotation. No Eclipse just yet. We'll have another Lucent Beam. We'll have the line stun available.
He's definitely dead.
Looks like they will be able to get FNG, but this is the top lane abandoned. There's just nobody laning against the Brood anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that was a bad rotation. You know, if he stays up there, he could definitely get solo killed by a Broodmother. Oh, another hero in the jungle.
And another kill for G. 5-0 at 6.5 minutes.
That's not where you want to be in this game, especially with squishy cores like Luna and Shadow Fiend. Both of these guys are insanely vulnerable to a fast Euls on Lina. He can kill either of these guys easily, and the stack seal. Not the prettiest stack. Man, maybe we shouldn't have stomped him so hard. There would have been a 4-stack here instead of a 2-stack. It would be more efficient for us, you know?
I feel like this game may quickly devolve into, like, how much mercy does VP want to have on Newbee?
None.
I think the answer is none.
Yeah, go for the 4-0 in one day. I mean, he described in the pregame interview, FNG said, you know, Newbee's a really good team. Maybe this won't happen again, but doing a 4-0 against Newbee would definitely put them in pretty good spirits.
That's for sure. Illidan hasn't even joined the fights yet, Kevin. I think that's what concerns me the most. This is a level 7 safe lane gyro, basically free farm. Has yet to leave the lane, has yet to even try for a kill. And Newbee are actually going to be the ones who make the move. They fire a rocket.
Oh,
they're going to come in, but the creep wave arrives. Oh, get some lucky lucid beams there.
No
Just
kidding.
enough for the kill.
He got beamed 3 times, one of which was the actual Lucent beams. But
still, he almost dies. Is the
Yeah.
funny part, and they lose the tower top.
that's the kind of crazy ganks that you need to do when you're this far behind. If you can't go to safe lane, go get something done with your cooldowns. Now Eclipse is on cooldown for another 120. Now's when you do some passive farming. Then when it's off cooldown again, get another kill. That's the best thing that How can do this game. So that kill was really, really good.
It does come at a cost. Phobos taking the tower top lane, extending his tentacles throughout the jungle now. This is generally where... I mean, Newbee basically abandoned like this entire quadrant of the map at this point is normally what you'll see in this situation. And they are going to infest. FNG moving in, Lil taking advantage as well. G even farming the jungle. They've got the whole freaking family up here right now.
This is great, because this is what Shadow Fiend does. If he's losing, he goes in the jungle, he passively farms, he catches up. He's got 34 CS at 8 minutes. He's got 4 deaths here, and now they can push their top very easily.
The Spiderlings are hunting too late. Gets the cogs up, but a bit too late as FNG has already engaged, bashes him back, waiting for the crush. Chain stun, perfectly executed. An easy grab for BP. And Newbee just flummoxed. And what do? They can't farm their jungle. Their Shadow Fiend's horribly underfarmed.
Well, they've got one good Observer in the enemy jungle. The hero that they should be ganking is Gyrocopter, and there's the smoke instantly moving towards that. This is the only way they're going to catch up. They can't beat these other 4 heroes. The only one that's maybe a little weak is Spearbreaker. Like, Slardar is really strong at this point, even without his ultimate. He's fast. He doesn't really need to blink too badly. They got to get that Gyro kill.
That would be big, but they may also run into the backup as Illidan. This looks like he may be joined here soon by 2 of his teammates. Grabs his Helm of Iron Will, so looks like a Dominator pickup for him coming next as Moo. Chizbug try to make their move, but at that very moment, Lil arrives as well. Hex goes on Lil, stun goes on Illidan. Very nicely played here by Newbee so far, but the charge is there, and he gets off the call. Now this is going to get ugly real fast for Newbee. Chizbug down, they do lose the gyro. Moo, oh, he can't afford to die again. They really need to make sure he doesn't. The backup comes through, hook up the mark, but they still might catch Lil out here. Lucent Beam secures it, a 2-for-1. And Brood trying to push in that top lane, and they get the Shadow Fiend. So 2 for 2 in the end.
The slave right click, getting the efficient kill. G
Just
could
barely.
chase this. No, there's Eclipse. That'd be so dangerous.
I'm expecting we're going to see Phobos come to these fights soon. Orchid almost done. In
I
fact,
mean,
just needs the recipe.
with the tier 2 tower gone, there's just so hard. But they're going to catch DK maybe.
They only have sentries here. Can they actually lock Phobos down?
No mana for Eclipse.
No, charge comes in. They may look to turn here. No point in the ultimate yet for Phobos, but the long range move comes out. Gee, he just massacres too. My God.
That's 9 kills. That's a lot of dead heroes. Again, a stack.
I feel like I'm watching like Michael Jordan just dunk on middle schoolers right now. This is pretty ugly.
They're making Newbee look so bad right now. And it was all because of that mid lane opening up so much. Possibly, like you said, because of the Brood pick being out of nowhere. And they've controlled the map so well. Put 4 of their heroes in the enemy jungle, don't let them farm there. Leave the bottom half of the map, maybe the mid-level, ult for Gyro. Let him get all he wants, play safe when he wants, to retreat to the jungle when he feels like he's getting ganked. And even with him dying once or twice, VP is still stupidly far ahead.
You can't TP on this lane. How? Crush, stun, and should be done here with the charge coming in. How? Even if he gets off the Eclipse, not going to be able to stay alive long enough to use the beams. But they do look for the turnaround now. Newbee hooking. Oh, the Yule Scepter already online here for G. Gets off the stun again, looking for more. FNG needs a little RNG to get the kill. Doesn't even actually in the end. Gets the follow-up from long range. G with the support. 3 more fall, and Illidan kind of drives by, says, I'll take that tower, thank you very much. And I have to reiterate, DK Phobos is actually not coming to fights. We've seen the kind of the evolution of Broodmother, Kevin, is the Broods often, once they get that tier 1 top, they'll join the team, but Phobos hasn't really even had to do that.
And normally they spread their nets towards the middle lane, for example. He's got a couple that can lead him to the tier 2, for example, but he's just completely fine getting a ton of farm top lane, because while his team creates space for him, he's got an Orchid now, so anytime the line leaves the base, anytime the Winter Wyvern leaves the base, dead. 100% dead.
I don't even feel like Newbee's made any terrible decisions this game. It just feels like they don't really have many options.
The only major terrible decision that I feel like I've seen is that Shadow Fiend basically was out of position versus the Lina. Even without the Spirit Breaker charging,
he would have died solo.
He would have died solo. There was a very small amount of damage coming out of FNG in that gank, and Moo is so far behind now, and Lina's gotten so much advantage that his AoE stun is stunning for 2.5 seconds. His Dragon Slave is hitting for full damage.
He's almost got an Eggs.
Almost got an Eggs. Like, do you even build BKB anymore? Like, Shadow Fiend is working on his freaking Aquila right now. And Lena's ready to throw out the 1000 pure damage nuke.
Basically, it's like this. G is like sitting down to a nice, fine dining experience. He's got some caviar, some champagne, and then you've got Mr. Shadow Fiend, who's picking up scraps of bread out of the trash and just slowly chewing. Of course, it's stale. It's probably got mold on it, but, you know, he's going to eat all he can.
He just got off of work where he was actually the waiter for G. You know, stuff like that.
Just... poor Moo. 11-0 on the Lina. 1-5.
It's ready. We got any one-shots? We got a Lion one-shot. We got a Winter Wyvern one-shot. Well, yes, it's 16 first, I guess.
See, since we have dedicated observers, the beautiful thing is I'm just going to go the entire game, just lock on G. And just watch him rack up kills like this is a pinball machine.
Plan. Lion is 13 HP away from a one-shot with the Lina ultimate right now. It's not a good place to be. Big smoke to the top lane. They're really hoping to get a pick off and then take a Rax afterwards, but there's still 3 towers on the map, and I don't think it's ridiculous for them to go do some slightly aggressive things right now. Do a little bit of diving, look for those solo kills.
VP, as they've got an Invis rune up here on Lil. He just gets eyes on Hao, sneaking back into the base. It seems they're looking for a pick into maybe even a high ground push from the way they're positioned here. Can they find that opening? Hao sitting back, the rest of the team bottom lane. So NewBee so far dodging the gank very nicely. Trying to get a tower. They do. They're first of the game. Good is quite a good trade.
It's really hard to initiate, basically. Without a blink dagger. This is a charge, actually.
Oh, Hal doesn't try to turn her out. He just gets as far back as he can. There's the curse. They gotta kill off G before he gets off this Laguna Blade. The hook's there. The finger committed. He does drop the Yule Scepter. They silence too late, so he can't lock him in position. G skates away, ends up surviving. Illidan rushes forward, and they're actually farming NewBee inside their own base. 2 already dead, 3. The clock's gonna buy back, but what can he actually do? No hook shot ready. VP might not be able to take the Rax yet, but they are doing devastating economic damage here.
That dive looks so easy. At first I thought it was gonna be a little scary, but they just got the Luna down so rapidly. Doesn't have anything close to a BKB. She needs a BKB to be survivable in those kind of situations, but they're just too far behind.
Didn't even get the Laguna off that fight. She's just he just spent the whole time running, but they don't need him. That's how strong they are right now.
Another example of him being ahead, basically. He got initiated on, he took a bunch of nuke damage, still didn't die. Did very little.
Yeah, and very, very nice reactions by DK Phobos, getting off the silence there so he couldn't get cogged. That definitely helped save his life.
Yeah.
All right, well, NewBee, they're just fishing for any sort of opportunity here. You know what's not helping, though, is the Vision game is mediocre. I'd say they've got 1 rune which just expired bottom, and 1 all the way down in this bottom lane, but we haven't really seen them get to move there, aside from that 1 push when VP wasn't home.
Yeah, that ward is usually just made for the tier 1 tower. You want to pressure and see the people behind. Charge coming through. Clock may have spotted this out. That's on Hao. Spiders on Hao.
Clips. The silence is there. Follow-up damage more than sufficient. Should be going down here to the soul burn. Will, and too late, just has to walk away, but Lil is chasing in. He gets off the M damage, and no sprint, no blink. He's not going to pursue.
That's basically the limit to which NewBee can leave their base. If they go any farther than that, they're just dead. 2 heroes, charge will come, sprint, silence from Broodmother. There's so many ways that they're threatened in this game. And they still don't care about the bot lane. And I kind of like this idea because this is really the place where they have the most room to do things. The bot lane is grouped up. They'll have to worry about Winter Wyvern ulti catching multiple people. Maybe a good Eclipse. Maybe Battery Salt, Cogs on like 3 people. Those are the worst case scenarios. They don't care about the gold advantage. They got that from killing heroes. They just need to get a Rax.
Oh, that's what they're looking for. They grab the tier 3 tower now, squirming back. VP, they know the importance of this game. As far ahead as they are, they do not want to overextend into the curse. They're going to play it safe. Farm up the enemy jungle, wait for their next round of items. Ogre Club now picked up for G. Seems BKB very likely in the making. And how do you feel at this point? Does VP have what it takes to just bulldoze the base? Should they be farming up that next round of items and then going Roche?
They're going to play safe. They had a game just like this, and it ended up being an hour and 20 minutes. They had huge advantage. They got a rack sub 20 minutes, and then somehow they just kept losing heroes. Well, it's not really somehow. I know how it happened. Time-lapse did not pull through. Illidan had some trouble pressing the R button. But they're way farther ahead this game than they were in that other game. And they actually are building completely standard items that scale well into the mid and late game.
Yeah, they're going to get that Slardar blink soon. Lil is farming well. Phobos, we'll see what he wants to go for. Up to 1,300. On the Courier is his Ogre Club as well. So seems mass BKBs may well be the pickup here. And then you do have to wonder, what is Newbee going to do for damage? They've only got a Yules on the Shadow Fiend. No real right-click items on Hal. They are lacking in the physical damage department.
Well, they can just Shadow Ray spiders, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they have some right-click, but it's just like, I feel like they're not going to live long enough to do it.
Yeah, basically. Even the nukes alone are going to be very dangerous coming out of VP.
And gee, Hasterin bottled up. This guy's a stone-cold killer at this point. Looking for openings. They don't have any real vision on mid, aside from just seeing Moo. It's a Wild Kid Tornado will scout things out. They get off the Yule Scepter. That interrupts the charge here. Maybe they can turn on to FNG. The hook comes through, as well as a Lion's Stun. Heavy commitment for this one. But Phobos is coming from behind. Looks to finish up Hal. The Soul Burn takes him down again. No Eclipse for Newbee this fight. Banana is next. 3 down. GG.
Oh my god.
That was the most brutal beating I have seen in a very long time.
Dude, flat cannon and amp damage, like there's so many ways that their team synergized there, but that was a G performance, man. Good ganks from FNG. They set up everything for the mid, and then all of a sudden he's got double-digit kills, doesn't need any assists. It's like, give me the gold.
I felt like they were helpless after 2 minutes.
Yeah, it
Honestly.
really did look like that. It was like, yeah, there's nothing they can do anymore. But you could definitely criticize them for a Luna pick, you know? If they get ahead, Luna is awful.